Let's talk about how we at New York City Relief serve our friends on the streets who are struggling with homelessness. As a volunteer, you have a vital part to play in the success of these outreaches. It's not just what we do during these outreaches that makes a difference, it's how we do it that is key to impacting people's lives. The most important part you have as a volunteer is to connect with people. One of the greatest needs that human beings have is to be connected to others. Family, community, and deep relationships are essential to our well-being. Our friends struggling with homelessness are constantly surrounded by people in the city, yet find themselves completely isolated. Cut off from love, many times they wither, they become shells of their true selves, ghosts who drift through our society, invisible to the masses around them. But at New York City Relief, we are constantly pursuing oneness. We do this by focusing on relationship and community with our friends on the street and each other. In the book of John, Jesus says, the goal is for all of them to become one heart and mind. He says, just as you, Father, are in me and I in you, so they might be one heart and mind with us. Then the world might believe that you, in fact, sent me. Then they'll be mature in this oneness and give the godless world evidence that you've sent me and loved them in the same way you've loved me. So how do you know if you're achieving oneness? True friends are vulnerable. They trust each other with their flaws and failures. Real friendship isn't one-sided, where one person has an elevated status while the other remains subservient. We usually assume it's the poor who need us, but here's a radical concept. We need the poor just as much as they need us. It's the poor who Jesus uses to free us from the illusion of our independence. Oftentimes we are isolated, we are lost, and those who are openly struggling, they can actually lead us to a beautiful interdependence with our fellow brothers and sisters. They give us a place to live the love of Jesus and share the material blessings we were entrusted with. They can help free us from narcissism, separation, and just indifference. People struggling to survive every day can teach us what faith is really all about. One of the marks of Jesus' ministry and that of the early church was the value given to people on the bottom. The rich and poor believers communed together as equals. When I say communed, I mean they really took care of each other. The Apostle Paul describes this radical way of life when he says, share with the Lord's people who are in need, practice hospitality, rejoice with those who rejoice, and mourn with those who mourn. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited. Rather than try to fix people when we show up to do an outreach, we actually give them a place to belong. People need a place to belong before they can be expected to believe or behave. Jesus challenges us to make a place for the poor in our lives. When he turns to the host of a dinner and he says, the next time you put on a dinner, don't just invite your friends and family and rich neighbors, the kind of people who will return the favor. No, invite some people who never get invited out, the misfits from the wrong side of the tracks. They won't be able to return the favor, but the favor will be returned. Oh, how it will be returned at the resurrection of God's people. In addition to oneness, one of our core values at New York City Relief is excellence. When we do our very best for those we serve, it builds others up without causing them to feel guilty for receiving help. If they see that love is our true motivation, there's no shame in receiving, only comfort, healing, and safety. When we give our friends the very best, we paint a picture of how God feels about them. Along with oneness and excellence, we also value consistency and reliability. You see, when you live on the streets, you need a place to find refuge from the chaos around you. Our friends need to know if they show up, we will be there. The staff and volunteers will treat them well and care about them as a person. This stability brings a peace that helps stave off despair and hopelessness. While you are serving with New York City Relief, let God guide you to connect with our guests and develop true friendships. Serve with excellence and pursue oneness. You will find that as you humbly journey with others, God will actually end up helping and healing you as well. And remember, the poor are not a problem to be solved, but a people to be loved.